I want Professor Kev Show. As you see, I got my buddy Kennan with us from Culture Fusion. Good afternoon, my friend. Welcome to the show.
Oh, what's up, Professor Kev? How are you?
Just living the dream, my friend. Thanks for making the time for me. So before we talk about Culture Fusion, tell me what I should know about you as a human being.
I'd say just kind of what to know about me is I've actually just wrapped up my MBA at Bentley University. I was also around this time last year. I also was just finished my bachelor's as well. I was in a program that allowed me to do a little bit of both at the same time, where I was doing undergrad classes while I was doing grad courses. A lot of that was just balancing. I was also an athlete in college, a part of multiple different organizations on campus. So my entire life was just time management and balancing. And it was hard to adjust at first, but being an athlete, like you just have that discipline. It just this happens at this time, this happens at that time. It was pretty easy after time went on. But basically about me, I love the challenges, things like that. I love being thrown in different directions. Sometimes a challenge kind of the way I see challenges, it kind of forms you into a better than you were yesterday type of thing. So challenges, I'll take it head on. One thing also about me, I've always been an athlete all my life, which kind of kicks into why I'm so competitive in life, work, my own business. I just have that competitive drive. And then aside from that, now that I'm not in college anymore, what am I doing? So I try to just, keep busy. I go to the gym pretty often. I try to play basketball here and there outside. And, I work at Progressive currently. So when I'm not working, I'm either at the gym or playing basketball. And that's what I do with most of my time. Just stay fit, stay active. And then I'm also a big family man, big family man. So I'm always trying to spend time with my family, my girlfriend as well. I try to spend time with her as much as I can. But just starting off full time, it's one of those things where it's hard to make time for everything. But like I said, being an athlete kind of helps me being good at time management.
Yeah, sure does. So let's talk about Culture Fusion. What are you doing? Why'd you start this? What need opportunity did you see, my friend?
I'd say for me with Culture Fusion, fun fact, I actually didn't go. Well, actually, let me start off here. Going to Bentley freshman year, they've already instilled into your mind. Once you graduate, you got to own something. Like you got to be a manager of something. And, as a business school, so like as a little freshman, you're just like, well, what am I going to do with my life? Like, how am I going to own something? I'm like, I don't even know what I would do right now. And kind of as the years went on, I realized, what I wanted to be a part of, what I wanted to do. I'd say around sophomore year is when I started becoming a content creator on social media. I started gaining some good traction. The type of content I was doing was a lot of fashion content. But meantime, while I was doing this, I was also very involved on campus. What I did on campus was I was a part of different communities that helped the people of color on campus. So I was a part of a community for strictly men of color, and then strictly athletes of color, and then strictly just the entire general body. So women, men, anyone who identified as a person of color. So a lot of my work was a lot of community work for people of color. So as sophomore year went on, I joined a fashion show at Bentley University, and this is when I was like, I really couldn't dress that well, but I was interested in fashion, so I thought it was cool. So I did the fashion show, and that's when I was like, hold on, like I love this, like I love fashion, like I love, and I mind you, I didn't make my outfits. People were designing me, giving me fits to wear, and I loved all the compliments I was getting. I was like, if all I have to do is dress to get compliments, why do I not keep doing it? So after that specific fashion show, I moved on to like liking fashion more, just trading my bank account of just buying different clothes. So obviously, what that leads to is I was broke sophomore year, just buying different clothes from different brands. But my fashion content was doing well. I was getting more clothes, getting more traction. Junior year comes along. That's when I joined the fashion show again, and I'm like, I got to do better than last year. I'm getting more traction. People are knowing me more around campus, more around Massachusetts. Start becoming more well known, and I start loving fashion more and more and more. And then at this point, this is when I really start blowing up on social media, and people are telling me, you know what, Keenan, you got to start a brand. And I'm just like, no, that's not what I want to do. I just want to keep making content because at this point, I'm balancing so many things in life. I just started. I'm just
Don't
in
need
the middle
another
of
one.
exactly. I don't need another thing on my plate, especially my own business. It's like that's too much. So then as junior year wraps up, I'm not even considering a business. Senior year comes along. I have my full-time job ready for me, waiting for me after college. I'm still in all my organizations, just trying to give it back to the community. I'm doing a lot of community work, a lot of campus work for people of color. I'm just kind of helping the younger generation. And that's when I kind of realized that, you know, I kind of want to do the clothing brand thing. Like I literally woke up one day. I was asleep. I woke up and I just had like, it's so weird to say, but in my head, I had a piece that I wanted to bring out. And I literally that morning, I got to work on something called Canva. It's pretty simple to use. I got to work on Canva. Started just the idea that I had in my head, I tried spitting it out on paper, or hence Canva.
Yep.
And then as I'm seeing it come to life, I'm just like, hold on, like maybe this is something I actually want to do. But my whole point was, after kind of starting this process, this idea, I had friends who were also clothing brand owners. So what I did was I spoke to them, because this is something that, I don't know much about, but it's something that, good way to make money, good way to also get, my brand out there. And they were telling me that, what, Kennan, like if you want to get a brand out there, at this point I did have a message. What I wanted to do, I wanted to bridge the gap between communities. That's the whole purpose of what I want to do with my brand. But I didn't know how to do that, but also drop a product that does that. So I spoke to my friends and were like, Kennan, honestly, if this is something you want to do, you can't drop your first products. Can't be something that have meaning to it. Like it just has to be something cool, something people will wear, and then as you gain traction, then you can go ahead and wrap in the meaning with your brand. So I was like, you know what, you're right. So the first product I designed couldn't even drop it, because yes, it was pretty dope, but I couldn't drop it just because it had the meaning behind it, but it wasn't cool enough for people to wear quite yet. Um, so that design I kind of scratched it, and then what was kind of in right now was mohair clothing, this kind of luxurious type of wool feel type of piece of clothing, which then I saw a lot of, it was in the market, but it wasn't in the market, like it wasn't something that people were buying because they couldn't find it anywhere. So I was like, you know what, why not I make it? Because I want mohair myself. I can't find it anywhere. So if I can't find it, my roommates were looking for mohair, couldn't find it themselves. So I was like, why not? I'll just design mohair. It wasn't my initial intention, but I like mohair. My roommates like mohair. Let me start mohair. So I started some mohair clothing, and then it started gaining some traction there. And where I saw the opportunity was, it was the fact that there was no mohair around. You would have to, really search to find a piece of mohair clothing that was good quality, looked nice, wasn't shedding too much. And then once I saw that, I started building off the whole idea that, I'm one of the only mohair producers in Massachusetts.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. And that's entrepreneurship. You found the
Mhm.
need in the market. We were
Exactly.
just talking about that today. What's the gap in the market? It was for
Mhm.
you as mohair. All right, so it's crystal ball time, my friend. Looking 3 to 5 years out, where are we going to be with the brand?
3 to 5 years out, I'd say with my brand, what I do want to keep doing this for a long time. My whole idea is, once I gain more traction on social media, um, and get enough profit too as well, I do want to end up getting some type of brick and mortar. I don't know if I want to have it based in Massachusetts or look, have it somewhere elsewhere. But I do want to end up owning my own, clothing brand store that strictly sells mohair. I'm not sure if I want to branch out to other pieces of clothing, but I'm doing so well with the mohair. You don't see mohair often, but once you get a feel of it, you're like, yeah, this is luxury. So I think it'd be very niche for me to start my own, physical store that strictly sells mohair. So you like, if you want mohair, you know exactly where to go.
So, what's the best way to reach out to you? How can people learn more? How can they get mohair?
For me, if you guys want to reach out to Culture Fusion, we do have an Instagram, Culture Fusion Inc. Spelled KULTUREFUSION Inc. INC. And that's on Instagram. And then if you want to find us on through our website, it's just culturefusion.com.
Awesome. I appreciate you taking a few minutes to call on the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
Thank you, Professor Kev.